Hey everyone, it's been a really long time since I last made a video due to a really tough couple of years IRL, and that combined with a time where I really started to hate playing the game made it really hard for me to make videos at all. Datacrons, Omicrons, 3v3 GAC and Conquest are generally things that just make me depressed to the point where I almost quit the game a couple of times throughout it all. But thanks mostly to the new TB and the toning down of GL releases, I'm finally starting to find my passion for the game again. So I started thinking the past couple of weeks, where do I start? And I've always really enjoyed making modding videos, so I considered going back to 5-minute modding, but with how the game is now I'd really struggle to fit the information I would want in such a short time. With a lot of the 5-minute modding videos now out of date, I decided to just start a new series doing something similar, but without the pressure of cramming everything into a 5-minute video. I'm still not the kind of YouTuber who's going to just bloat videos for the sake of it, but I want to be in a position where I can give you guys all the information you need to get your teams modded perfectly. Sorry for the long intro, but I just wanted to update everyone that stayed loyal to the channel for so long. I really appreciate everyone's support. I'd also like to remind you all to like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell, join my Discord server, and most importantly, share the video with your friends and guilds, so we can let everyone know that the modding videos are coming back. So without any further delay, let's get started on how to mod CLS Rebels. So starting up we have CLS himself. Now unfortunately these days there's quite a few viable ways to mod certain characters, and CLS is one of these, so I'm going to talk about a few of the sets you can choose to use, their strengths and weaknesses, and then my personal favourite for each character where it's applicable. So for CLS you have two choices for sets. Option 1 is the good old crit damage and crit chance combo. Now unfortunately this one is losing viability in certain situations, with how many anti-crit characters there are now. It's not going to be ideal in those situations. In addition, you're also likely to only get him to the point where crit damage outperforms offense when he has call to action on, which grants 50% crit chance, or when Han Solo has given him crit chance up. The second option is to mod him with an offense set and a tenacity set, which will offer him more consistent DPS and some defense against daze, which is a massive problem for this team overall. I feel like this is the best way to mod him for PvP, as it will allow you to use him against teams that have anti-crit mechanics or daze. The other advantage to this set is Free Pack's Unique, which awards 40% of the rebel leader's tenacity, offense, health, protection, defense and potency to Free Pack, and 20% to everyone else. Sadly, no crit is awarded, so these sets have the added bonus of boosting the strength of the entire team. Now both sets are viable for both PvP and PvE overall, but in my opinion option 2 is far superior due to the stat share from Free Pack, specifically awarding 20% of CLS's offense and tenacity to the entire team, which is going to help out drastically, especially the tenacity share given how daze is the biggest counter to this team. Now for primaries it will be the same regardless of what set you use, and you're going to want to have protection on the circle, offense on the cross, crit damage on the triangle, and speed on the arrow. As for secondaries, for CLS you're going to want to focus mainly on speed, offense and tenacity, with a goal of plus 120 speed from mods. Now moving on to raid harm, there's only one clear winner here, and that is a crit damage and a crit chance set. Some people may want to use a health set instead of a crit chance set, especially if it's at a high relic level, but personally I like to be able to make sure I'm more likely to crit on opponents using crit avoidance arrows. For his primaries you're going to want protection on the circle, offense on the cross, crit damage on the triangle, and either speed or offense on the arrow, with a personal recommendation for offense, as I feel this is just a lot more useful for him overall. I feel focusing mostly on damage over speed is the way to go here, given how hard he can hit. For Han's secondaries, we're mostly going to be looking for offense and a little speed. As always, offense percentage is a lot better than numerical offense, but on mods that have offense primaries, numerical offense in the secondary is the only possibility, so keep this in mind. For speed, you're going to want around plus 65 speed on him from mods. Anything more than that isn't needed in most cases. In addition, you also need to make sure Han has 100% crit chance, so he gains full turn meter when using his first special, but you shouldn't need to worry about this as it usually happens naturally. So moving on to Chewbacca, we have a few options here that are viable, and the first I'm going to talk about is the crit damage and crit chance sets. I personally like these a lot for Chewie. While most of his damage is based on his unique, which makes all of his attacks do 20% damage equal to his opponent's max health, it's nice to boost his regular damage too. Obviously in the same regard to CLS, this is only going to be optimal if fighting against teams without anti-crit mechanics. The second option is to go for an offense set and a crit chance set. Now this is going to be better for situations when you're going up against teams with anti-crit mechanics, for the same reasons we've already discussed. Now the third option is to go with a full tenacity build. Now for Chewie specifically this yields a lot of benefits. As most of you know, Chewbacca will be assisting on all of Han's and CLS's attacks, so keeping daze off him is probably the most important factor in the battle, and is often the factor that determines if you win or lose. For fighting teams like gas or anything else that applies days, this is going to be essential to win a lot of the time, so be sure to keep this set in mind for all PvP modes. I'd also like to point out, this is only going to be worth it if you go all in. Adding a small amount is unlikely to make a noticeable difference. Keep in mind you'll also be getting 20% of CLS's tenacity due to free packs unique, which shares stats. While all three sets are perfectly viable, I think the overall winner for my personal choice is going to be the triple tenacity sets, given how much of a boost this is going to be in PvP, with the crit damage and crit chance sets being a close second for a more PvE focused roster. For primaries, you're going to want protection on the circle, tenacity or offense on the cross, crit damage on the triangle and speed on the arrow. For secondaries, the main goal is offense or tenacity depending on your chosen set, with a little speed. For speed you only need to aim for at least plus 80 from mods. Next up we're going to be talking about 3PO, who is always going to need a speed set and a potency set. With him your main focus is going to be speed, as he won't be directly attacking. For primaries on the circle and triangle you can go with pretty much anything that isn't based on damage and that gives you the most speed. Protection would be ideal, but it's not worth giving up speed for. Go for potency on the cross and speed on the arrow. For secondaries, your main focus is going to be speed. Not much else matters aside from a little potency, as you're going to want Confused to be sticking on the enemy team. For speed, aim for at least plus 100 to 120 speed from mods, and for potency, aim for over 120% total. Now for our final member, 3PO and Chewie. Very similar to CLS here, we have two options, with the first being a crit damage and a crit chance set. This does work really well overall, given how his kick grants advantage to the whole team, and his third special deals devastating damage later on in the battle. However, we're still having to take into account anti-crit teams and how strong of a counter Daze is to this team overall, which seriously limits the core strengths of this build in PvP. The second option is to go with an offense set and a tenacity set. This is more playing it safe against Daze and anti-crit builds as mentioned previously. I do feel this is probably the best option for most cases with him due to his constant assist damage. He's also gaining 40% of the majority of CLS's stats, so this is going to stack nicely on him, boosting his offense and tenacity even further. All in all, for my personal recommendation, I would have to stand with the offense and tenacity set being the best option here. 3-pack's base crit chance is pretty bad, and while he does gain advantage which will guarantee crits, I just feel the offense and tenacity are too consistently useful to pass up for a little more circumstantial damage. For his primaries, you're going to want protection on the circle, offense on the cross, crit damage on the triangle and speed on the arrow. I'm going to take this chance to quickly mention that protection is always going to be better than health on this entire team, due to the protection recovery from guard and 3-pack's ability to heal protection for the entire team. As for his secondaries, you're going to want to focus mainly on offense, tenacity and some speed, aiming for at least plus 100 speed from mods. Don't worry too much about getting him over this, as you'd be better served seeking out additional offense at this point, as most of his damage is going to come from assists as opposed to his actual turns. And there we have it everyone. I hope you all enjoyed the first episode of what I think I'm going to call advanced modding. Please be sure to let me know if you like this new formula down in the comments, as I really had a lot of fun making this for you all. It was nice to be able to look at the possibilities instead of just rushing for everything like in the old modding videos. If people like this formula, I'll be more than happy to stick to it. But that's all for now everyone, thanks for watching and I'll see you all very soon.